We won't find it unless there's footage.
I stepped down the steps.
Uh-huh.
There and it went up to 1.7. Then when I came back in here, it went down to 0.
Okay. So out there, our parking meters, all the electrical lines are underneath your feet. So it's going to give you a good spike over there.
Oh, okay.
So there you go, the bump. She's gotten up to 12.7. So who knows what you're going to find, and we'll kind of compare the notes. So your baseline's still at 2.5.
Okay.
We'll just keep it growing. So, and sometimes we get into spaces where one person gets readings and the other one doesn't, and they're both calibrated together. Like I do them together so that I know that they're equal. It's just odd and weird. That's why we measure everything. Let me pull up my fear clock. What do you got?
Sorry?
Richard's got some dark spots near his head. Oh, that must be the lamp behind him.
Yeah. Can you go back over here?
Huh? I don't know if my arm's getting tired.
You're not supposed to hold it with your hand.
Well, my hand's getting tired.
I hate
I'm getting a cramp in my hand. So you getting any ratings? What?
It went to 3.6 and then
Where?
right here. It went to 3.6 and then went back. It went to 3.6 right in here and then went back to 0.
Well, ghosts don't stand still. That's your new baseline. Don't do anything below that now. Or you keep them throwing it up. I know she's up to a 12.7, but you're on a different meter, so I want to kind of keep track of them that way.
Okay.
So 3.6 and higher now. Okay, so we had a little spike. That's good. Where's the word list? Where's she hiding from me from? How's that word list?
What about your dad?
You got anything?
No.
still pretty cool to watch that thing. Learn a lot about thermodynamics.
Yeah.
So, and
So
unfortunately,
it must be a mud puddle or
yeah, it's
something,
or it's
right?
just wet. You know, it's a little damp maybe because I know it rained pretty heavy down here yesterday. But that's actually a downgrade. My upgrade broke, like the little piece that connects to the phone snapped off. So luckily I had that one still in the retirement box. Does just as good of a job, but the new one actually gives you a blue dot to show you the coldest spot, and it bounces around the screen like it just showed you. It's really cool. But just waiting on the insurance claim so I can get it back.
I think I can go behind the dumpster and take a leak.
Oh my. All that activity I got was right in here.
Right here? Well, it was right here.
So now I can't tell me anything above a 3 point. I gotta go 3.6 or higher.
3.6.
Yeah, because that's what I got to. Right here. Now it's 0.
There's the red barn. The red barn. So what did you say his name was?
Nick. Nick.
Jane, any new numbers? Nothing.
Went back to like a 1.7 and then went back down to 0.
That same spot where you had that 3.6 or 7, she came over and she got like a 10 point something, like right away.
Yeah.
So something's going on over in that little area.
Yeah.
Ladies, what do we got?
So I heard Charles,
Okay.
and then I heard the number 33.
Okay.
And then I think that's all that stuck out.
Well, everything's been really, really light. So I'm literally checking in with everybody right now, and I'm probably going to regroup them. We don't have a whole lot of time.
And there's an old, like, I don't know if they had TVs back then, but like almost like a voice of like a president when they do like a speech, like I hear parts of the speech. It sounded like old. That's something that I found.
The last couple of words, anything new?
And I've heard the song Blown Away. The lyric. Just blown away. I've heard it over in that corner and that corner.
Check the light. I'm going to check in. Real quick, I'm probably just going to read the post.
So have you experienced anything, Jack?
We can't get anything to come through there.
Jane, you're hot. You're awful red.
Did you hear?
Huh?
I was gonna say something hard. What do you think?
it.
What I said, Daddy went to 3, shot up to 3.5.
Oh, did it?
It did. Now it's gone down to 0. As soon as I said,
My
he
husband
thinks
thinks
I'm
I'm
hot.
hot.
What do you think? And it shot up.
Finally get some?
We asked him if he got anything, and he said nothing. And then he showed
That's-
that, and he said, "Baby, you're hot." And I looked at this, and I said, "You see, my husband thinks I'm hot. What do you think?" And it shot immediately up to 3.5. Just saying.
Didn't somebody have a birthday
Oh
tomorrow?
my gosh.
It just said 16, then tomorrow.
It did.
It did. I
What?
heard it. As I was walking, it said tomorrow
I didn't even
again.
put
She's
that
gonna be
together
16
until
tomorrow.
It just said
I
tomorrow.
just got the chills again.
What happened?
Wait, what did you get?
She's gonna be 16 tomorrow, and it said
Oh.
16 and tomorrow.
Oh,
Oh my god. Oh, I just got the chills.
I did
I'm
too.
validated too. I just got the chills.
I heard it as I was walking up. I heard
I've been
tomorrow.
hearing stuff like that until me and you was standing there.
Yeah, until finally I was like, oh, that just said 16.
Yeah.
Then tomorrow. Here's your birthday.
Wow.
Well, like I said, if you have a camera and you can close your lens, we'll save a little bit of battery life. I got plenty of them, but there's no point in you being like trying to save stuff. Any other new numbers or anything else I need to know about? I did write down your 3.5, Jane. Wow. Yeah, this was really light here. I'm sure you guys all noticed that. We did get the name Charles, so that's pretty specific. The number 33, I don't know what that is yet. By the way, I do love when you guys tell me something I don't know. That gives me research to do. I am a writer at heart. Like, that's what I'm trained to do. It's about research for me. So that's kind of how this works. We did get up to a 12.7 roughly with our EMF meters. Let me explain those very quickly. It's not a very high number. But your TV set, well, let me first start off with the average here is about 18 to 22. TV sets give off about 40 to 60, so we normally get about half of what your TV set gives off in a space with no electricity, so pretty impressive. We just didn't get it tonight. Your microwave, heating up your food, is about 150 to 170 on the outside of it. We don't know what the inside looks like because we don't microwave our ghost hunting equipment. The shit explodes. Now, the highest I've ever seen those devices go, and I've been doing this a long time, about 15 years and not just tours, has been at this location. We watched one of those things error out one night 3 times within 15 minutes and stay above 100 the rest of the time. We left. I have epilepsy, guys. That's way too much electricity for me to not get a pretty good migraine and some watering eyes based off the neurological disorder, right? So again, that's why I always like to hand these off to respectable people. No offense against the teens that we have in the group, but again, and a mom. So if I have a mom in the group, it's an automatic. So there you go. The 12, again, we got a couple of little tiny hits, so they're all going to go, they're all noted in your notes for tomorrow. Let's cover all of the answers, because I think that's about all of the exciting things that we got, except for the 16 tomorrow. Like, wow, that's actually pretty damn good. That's what I call a real-time moment in RTM, right? So it's obviously dealing with something with one of us. That's what happens. Station wagon, dude.
I know.
All right, Eliza Lucas Pinkney. She used her maiden name. Remember, this is the second wife named Eliza from Charles. First wife also named Eliza. Her name was Eliza Lamb Pinkney. So Lamb and Lucas were the names we were looking for there. We did not get those tonight. This one, the second one, married Charles at the age of 22. Chuck was 45. That's 23 years apart, not 33. So yes, it's creepy to me then and now.
What was the age she was married?
22.
We heard, was it 20 or 22?
It was
20.
Well, 20 is a whole different ball game. I'll get to that in just a minute. Like, that doesn't deal with them, but deals with some bleed over
We
from where we
thought
just were.
we were looking for something younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why I kind of give the clues out there of, again, 22 would have been a spinster in those times, right?
Yes, right, right.
But yeah, but she came from England. I don't really know what the customs were over there for her, so 22 wouldn't have been so bad, maybe. What do I know? But again, she was kind of a badass in her own right anyway. She didn't really want to get married. She just fell in love late. So yeah, that's what's going on with her age and all of that. But the number 20 is relevant because that is Big John's first jersey number. So sometimes they just miss the name John or something along New York Giants, something. So I'll write down 20. questions about the mansion and what happened? Is that you, Denise?
Yeah.
So, fire damage from the Great Fire of 1861. Now,
I had a feeling of fire, but it didn't come through.
I mean, it
but I
didn't come
had
through.
a feeling of fire.
feelings only count when that hand grenade, so they
Oh,
almost
yeah.
I need that recording. That's why I kind of like told you guys earlier, like, get the recording down. So, this happened in 1861. This is the remains, okay? So this is the damage that it caused. If we get the words fire, we will often get the date, like I said. This happened on December 11th of 1861. 12, 11, 61 are pretty damn specific, aren't they? I'm going to tell you how I learned everything I'm teaching you tonight. One night, somebody heard 12, then 11, and another person heard 61. The first person heard the word fire, and I didn't know what it meant. I went back to the office, researched it, and I had the whole thing plus the tragedy all within like a 3-minute time span. So it was Eliza teaching me something, and then we started to see the pattern. So this is something she's willing to talk about. Everything I tell you came from a scenario just like that. That's just a great one because there's 4 elements, 3 days, 3 parts of the day plus the actual tragedy. Every tour in town, I don't know if you guys have taken other tours, but they all tell you about a great fire. That's the map of Charleston, orange is the fire. It literally went from one side of the peninsula all the way to the other. This is $9 million worth of damage back then. Don't ask me what the hell that equates to now. Again, inflation changed again yesterday, I'm sure. So, anybody ask questions about the children? You guys are all like, no, I didn't do that. Well, I did put that shiny red button out there. I like to know who I'm working with. So, if you were to ask Eliza how many children she had, she would probably tell you 3. If I ask her, she's going to say 4. In other words, you strangers shouldn't ask about her other child. Here's what goes on. 4 children grand total. So Charles, you already know about, signer of the Constitution. Next. Thomas, he fought in a Revolutionary War battle. He was captured by the British after being shot in the left leg. So he's pretty proud of this damn battle because after that battle, he had a cane and a limp for the rest of his days. Like, he's pretty good with it. That's actually how we learned about him. Now, the next child is the reason I tell you all, don't ask questions about the kids. Baby George, he didn't make it. June of 1747, he's born, he's passed. His death certificate only reads June of 1747 in the birth and death columns. We don't know how old he was. There's no date. So I told you guys for years when I first started telling this story, he was probably 2 weeks old because he has a name. You wouldn't name a baby back then unless they were christened or baptized.
Right.
Last year I found a document over in the UK archives. I was looking up another Pinckney family member, doing some research, and I stumbled across it. They said that the 14th and 29th were George's birth and death. That's 15 days. Just bragging that my 2-week assessment was actually pretty spot on. So take that for what it's worth. Sorry, I like to brag about research. It's fun. But George does not have a headstone. He does not have a grave. What happened to him? The church may have allowed the family to mummify him, keep him in a tomb right here in the home, waiting for Mom to pass away so he could be buried with her. It's creepy and or endearing, depending on how you look at it. It's going to get a lot more weird when I tell you about Eliza's death. But one last child, but we don't hear of the last child much. Her name's Harriet. She's the only daughter, and she married Daniel Ori. If you're not from here, you don't know the coast well, Ori County's Myrtle Beach. That's about 2.5 hours north of here. She's probably haunting something up there. But it wouldn't have been a 2.5-hour car ride for Eliza. There's no cars. You got to know your ghost. Lots of letter writing between her and the daughter. So quill, ink, parchment, those are the kinds of terms that will show up for us if Harriet's around, plus something relevant to her. You see the point. Let's get on to Eliza's death, because that's pretty much a major focus. Take a guess. How old was Eliza when she passed away? Anybody, throw numbers out there. 42. What else? 35. Anybody?
33.
I'm sorry?
33.
33. No, she actually heard the number 33. That's kind of funny that she said that. Anybody else want to take a guess? She was 70 years old when she passed away. So, for those of you that don't know, that's a long time for being alive back there in the 1700s. She was going to Philadelphia getting treatments for whatever they thought she had. It turned out to be breast cancer. We didn't know what the hell that was in 1793, the year that she passed. We're going based off her medical records today. So, she died in Philadelphia, and then she's buried in Philadelphia. That should raise 2 questions in the back of all of your brains. First one is Baby George. If my theory's true, they took his tomb from here to Philadelphia by horse and carriage. That's a long trek for those of you that remember Oregon Trail. That's going to be about 3 weeks long, and somebody's going to die of dysentery along the way. So the other part is, if Eliza's buried in Philadelphia, why are we here in a smelly parking lot with a dumpster? It is a rarity that I take you to cemeteries, guys. I know the name of the company. It's what drew you here. But I want you to, well, we're going to visit one later only because I've been kicked out of the space I normally take you. That's a whole other funny ball game later on. We'll talk about all the spaces I've been kicked out of. But think about it. You're dead and gone. Are you going to stare at your headstone? Probably not. you're going to go to your place of what I call raised emotion. So she raised a family here, learned about indigo, and helped shape the country, guys. Like, this is a place of raised emotion for her. This is not everyday life for us. So, take a guess. Who was the president that was the pallbearer at the funeral? 1793 was the year. Where's the history buffs? Come on, guys. I know somebody in here's got to have some answers. Throw darts. Guess. Adams. Anybody else want to take a guess? Washington. Anybody else? What president was the pallbearer? You were actually right. It was Washington. Now, here's the bad part. When we got over here, I told you all I would not give you questions like, what color was George Washington's white horse? I do that on purpose. I subliminally put George Washington in the back of your brain. I wait to see who's going to give it back to me. So normally if it's during my round robins, and let's just say Lizzie gave it to me, I would take her spirit box and give it to somebody else. I don't want her repeating the same things I've already said. So Washington, at his own request, wanted to pay homage to Eliza based off her indigo. Yeah, it was a pretty big deal. So just take that for what it's worth. We could have gotten things, by the way, from Big John over here. So like I said, we did get that number 20, that's the jersey number, but we could have also had Pinckney Mansion stuff over there. That's what I call bleed over. I don't know if these ghosts know each other because they are from 2 different centuries, but where we're going into an alleyway where I've also been kicked out of, so we're only going to go up part of the way. Jane's looking at me like, who is this guy that keeps getting his ass in trouble? But we're going to go up a part of the way, and I'm going to stir shit up, and we're going to leave. We're going to go around the corner to a cemetery. I'm going to add an attachment to Jackie's camera, because that's going to be the focus there when we're at the cemetery. And anybody with a communicator, you're going to get things from both places while we're at both places. That's kind of how this works. What's the word?
Added.
Oh, maybe adding something to the camera.
Nick, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
You said something interesting. So, the soul leaves, you're saying that this is like the happiest time of her life. That's why she came back here. So, when she's here, is she in that time? Like, you know what I'm
No clue.
saying? Yeah, no one knows.
No,
She doesn't ever give you information like this is her mansion again.
And I would say that they also can travel. We just had a light space in here where I didn't get much. Well, you guys didn't capture much. But I would say last night we actually had quite a bit in here. So who's to say she's not up visiting her son that she's very good? If my theory's right. We don't know. That's the whole point of why we do these experiments and see if that's working. So that's kind of but that is a good question. By the way, we are going to be playing with a new device when we get into the alleyway as well. I kind of try to add one little extra little thing as we kind of move through the night at each space. So, any other major questions besides can the ghost like know our times? Like, I don't call cars cars. I would say a vehicle, just because you understand, because they didn't have carts back then. So that's a vehicle to her. I wouldn't say car, SUV, like, you know, that kind of mentality. All right, along the way, nobody liked the Blair Witch Project, so there's no point in recording anything with your cameras until we get into the alleyway. Other tours and tourists like to come through there, so try to keep your cameras at belly level if you can. And again, we're going to be just like this in that alleyway, and I'm going to stir things up and we'll just leave. That's how it works. There's not a whole lot of space for us to investigate, but we're going to get some footage with our cameras while we're there. EMF meters, so Nicole and Jane. Have I screwed up a name yet? Still? Wow, I'm still on track? Awesome. So the two of you, ignore your numbers until we get into the alley. Then you're going to start over, not at 2.5, but 8. So there's some lampposts in there. They like to go up to a 7. I like to make sure we're well above that. So you'll see as we kind of move along. Any new things going on with our word list? Emotions. Okay, I like it. Still want to know which emotion or why. So I don't know. Or if I was,
The lights keep going on and off. Is that like?
they're emotion lights.
But that's my point. Like, isn't that?
I've tried every test under the sun when they install these. Like, it's not her. Like, it's definitely not her. And they don't emit EMF either because they're solar.
Okay.
So, all right, let's go learn about killing people. You guys ready for this? They're gonna get darker as we move through the night, just so you know. So yeah, we're gonna go.
Pants are falling down. Out in the train. I need suspenders.
Yeah.
Carmella's is that way. Carmella's is on that street.
It goes the same way.
This part of the, for kind of, isn't this the marketplace?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
City Market. Open day, 9:30.
I thought so. Bird Cookie Company. Huh? Here?
Our kids are like this. We're ruining their hopes and dreams. Let's hope. You're with it. Sugar out.
So Keith, you're going to be my guinea pig for this location because you have the most boring job, so we're going to give you an exciting job here. So I want you to unplug your headset. So trace that wire until you find your headset. And just unplug it.
Hold that, man.
Voice recorder that can hear a frog fart from a mile away. Yeah, legit. So with the cameras, we definitely want to try to get some footage while we're here. So again, we're going to be probably just like this for probably like 10 minutes as we kind of stir things up. So your cameras, you're going to want to go one way or the other going down the alley. Otherwise, you're just going to get our legs and crotches in the shot. So and with the thermal, like that's never fun because if somebody farts too, then we're going to know it. The thermal will show it. Yeah, it happens. So every ghost tour comes here, by the way. So if you haven't been here yet, I know some of you have. They were just here last night, actually. That's another reason why I gave him that particular advice. But I try to take this out of my routes because I don't like to tell all the same stories that everybody else does. I like to do the extra stuff, the different things. But this guy does follow me around town. His name actually showed up on our word list. It was Joseph. So when we were back at the Pinckney Mansion site, he has a code word to let me know he's nearby from a spirit box, and it's not a normal word you would hear on the radio. So that kind of lets me know he's nearby when we're not here. So the Joseph at face value doesn't mean much. I still want the extra code word. No, I'm not going to tell you what that code word is just yet. I don't want you looking for anything. That's the whole point. You'll know at the end of the night. So that's kind of how this works. We're all tell the same damn story down here, by the way. I just give you a few extra details because you're ghost hunting. You're not on the fluff and marshmallow kind of ghost tour like what you guys did last night. Did I say that out loud? I sure did. And we recorded it. Let's kind of get into it because, again, it gets very warm down here, so I try to go through this one pretty quick. There's a doctor that moves here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. I said his name slowly because if the song Brown Eyed Girl shows up for us while we're here on the spirit box, it's not coincidence. It's part of his name. We get it all the time. So anyway, I'm just not surprised by it anymore. Doc moves here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. She just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents. And she has an attorney helping her out with all of the cash flow that she just got. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. So he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. He moves here to Charleston to prove that he's not. On his way into town, yeah, I know, he's trying to prove a point. He had a coachman that set him up to be robbed and killed on his way in. It's like having a really bad Uber driver in today's world. So that's in the room. Sorry, I overkill when I think we have a term that not everybody knows. So sorry, Lizzie, that was not intended for you this time. But anyway, somebody's walking by this coach, and basically he knows he's going to see what's going to happen to the newcomer. And the person walking by is named Ralph Isaacs. What are Ralph's initials? All right. What's Dr. Brown? Right. Bingo. You guys put it all together. Nice. So there are two different characters of the story, right? So we need to know if we get the letters R.I., which has happened, who it belongs to. Most of the time it belongs to Ralph. Just showing you how we research this. Moving forward, Ralph tells the doctor, hey dude, I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. 59 shows up here often in case you picked up on that slow down piece. They'll rent you a room. You'll be safe. Doc took him up on this offer, and the gentleman became friends. Now, the longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. It's not after Amanda's cash. He's making his own. She got wind of this. She wrote him a letter. I'm moving to Charleston so we could be married there. That's when Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor. Now, two things. Middle of the story, by the way. We're going to pause. Now you know why we're using this crazy frog fart here and voice recorder over here. We're not looking for voices. We're looking for whistles. So it's legit. We've caught quite a few down here since I've been using that device down here. Secondly, now you know why I tried to take this out of my route. It's a giant cliche. Every haunted city you will ever visit has a cliched whistling ghost. It's like the Lady in White. We all have one. But this guy does follow me around. It's a legitimate story. Let's move on to part 2 and make this shit dark. Let's get a little bit dark. Doc and Ralph go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He just got better seats. So on the way home one night, they're discussing the actress they just saw, and Doc thought she was great. Ralph did not. Then they started arguing, going back and forth, and now Ralph is insulting the doctor's fiancée back home in Rhode Island. It got pretty nasty between the two of them. They just went home. But the next morning, Ralph went to see his friends at the newspaper and placed an ad telling the whole city of Charleston what he thought of the doctor. Kind of a "you're a disgrace to society." Really bad Instagram post in today's world. So Doc saw the ad and rebutted, "Let's go to Dueler's Alley. That's where you're standing. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston." So they come down here back to back. They take their 10 paces away from each other. They turn. Doc pointed his gun in the air and he shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage to show up, which is often what happens at a duel. If you've seen Hamilton, you know how this goes already. Ralph did shoot the doctor. It didn't kill him. Where did he shoot him? Don't tell. Take a guess.
Leg.
What was that?
The leg.
The leg. We're out in the leg. Be more specific.
Thigh.
Thigh? The kneecap. So that's a nasty shot, right?
Yeah.
By the way, that was probably a luck shot. Like, it probably ricocheted off of the bricks down here. Just so you know, it wasn't probably intentional.
There's a bell. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You should.
Slay me with a sword. Clear as a bell.
Slay me with a sword?
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I don't know that there was ever a sword that was down
No, right.
I don't think there was ever.
No, there wasn't. I mean, from what?
I'm still going to write it down because it's cool.
Okay.
Like, who doesn't want to hear about slaying me
Clear
with
as
a
a
sword
bell.
when you're talking about
Clear
dueling,
as
right?
a bell.
Awesome. So, Doc fell to the ground after he got shot in the kneecap. His friends took him home. They took him to 59 Church Street, where he did die 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. Two things. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then, and he's a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but he failed, obviously, because he died. Take a guess. How old was this guy? Sorry, guys, I love the age game. 33. 50. Any other guesses? He was 22 years old. And a doctor. And, like, accomplished at that point. So, every ghost tour that comes down here tells you to listen for the whistles with your own ears. We got a bunch of equipment running. We got 2 voice recorders at minimum. Maybe what do you got?
I have a question. Did they have like specialist stuff then? Like specialty types of
No,
doctors? or, like,
probably not. Yeah, 1780s? Probably. Like, this guy started becoming a doctor at, like, the age of 14. Like, that's when he went into, like, doctor school. Like, so probably not. They're definitely GP. Kind of lost track of where the hell is that. Oh yeah, if you walk through here, yeah, just use your voice recorders on your phone. If you walk all the way through, remember I've been thrown out of here. I can't take you all the way through. We're going to talk about that in a minute because, yes, that's the funny part of the story. But use your voice recorders. Just remember, every local knows the story. Anybody walking up and down Carmelin or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley. It's just something we do here. Yes, it's funny. You can chuckle. So let's get into how I got my ass in trouble. This is the fun part. So, sorry, Mom. I'm about to tell your teenagers how to get their ass in trouble. The alley didn't go all the way through the way we came in. So there used to be a wall up there about halfway. Well, this is going before Dueler's Alley, further back in time. And the reason why that wall was there is because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. Cows, goats, and chickens were down here. Yeah, kind of weird. But they needed somewhere to put the livestock. This was called Cow Alley before it was Dueler's Alley. So, why am I telling you this? That means that the bricks down on that side are older than these. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there, face up. I used to take my groups all the way down there, by the way, and I want you to kind of remember, like, there's nothing paranormal about the brick, right? It was just a history lesson. We all need to see the brick. I don't care what color you are. It just shows you how far we've come away from it. But it's kind of the same mentality of, you know, how I feel about cemeteries. He's not staring at it. But November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group, same size as you guys, all the way down there to go see this brick so we can just continue moving on. Well, they all stopped, and they huddled around the damn brick, waiting for something to happen with all the gadgets. I know nothing's going to happen. He's not there. That kid probably grew up, had a family of his own. You see the point. We're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm interrupting some guy's dinner. My daughter was also on the tour that night, so there's 12 of us standing outside this guy's dining room window. She thought it was great, by the way, my daughter. When the guy came out screaming his head off at me, let me have it, because I was interrupting his dinner. We moved on. So the next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on holidays. Reason being is because before I started doing this, I used to be in upper management for Walmart. You guys fight over towels on Thanksgiving. You start me for life. Like, I don't do holidays ever. It sounds like your battery died.
Yep, well, it's about to.
I don't do holidays. The next day was the 28th. The dates are relevant, I promise. That's why we're going through this. But I called my partner that I had at the time, and he's already laughing when he picked up the phone, and he says, dude, you're not allowed to go down that far. It's residential. Figure it out. And he hung up. I'm like, damn, now I got to figure it out on my own. So I told my team that night, I'm sold out again, Black Friday. And I said, guys, I've never had anything happen with my equipment at the next stop. We're going to wing it and see what happens. I'm into vampires, not pirates. Now, I would normally tell you a pirate story next, but we've been kicked out of there too. But if I just tell you we're going to discuss pirates in Charleston. Who are we talking about?
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard. Good job. Thank you for not saying Jack Sparrow. That's a good one. I get that one all the time. That's another somebody owes me $1 when they say Jack Sparrow. But I didn't tell them who we were going to discuss. Somebody with a spirit box told me that they heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them it was going to be Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. So I was like, oh shit, maybe we're going to get something. I took them around the corner, told them what I knew about pirates in Charleston, which wasn't much, by the way. Somebody else with another spirit box heard the number 300. I don't know what that means. I wrote it down. I go back to the office, research. We were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. Right. Yeah, you guys are all giving me like the normal reactions of what I normally get. I was pissed. Here's my issue with the pirates. Now, now, a guy like me that loves to research. Some of you already know what my degrees are in. I have a master's degree, and it's all about reading and research and writing, right? So the whole problem for me is that pirate stories come from pirate lore. That pirate lore was written 100 years after the days of Blackbeard and Anne Bonny. It's 100 years of grapevine effect, so we can have Jack Sparrow 200 years after that right here on Disney Channel. So I had to do a crap ton of research. Now, I told you we're not allowed over there, so why am I telling you all this piratey crap? James looking at me with these weird, like, cross eyes. I can see it in his head. What is he doing? We're going to be literally right next door to it. So it is a possibility we will get the bleed over. Just because I don't take you guys in there directly doesn't mean she stopped haunting the place. So I'll point out where it is and why we used to do it over there. But we're going to be literally right next door to it at the cemetery to kind of see how that works. Did you hear anything weird besides my voice and our laughter? Nothing. So with that particular recording, I do listen to the entire thing. Do we have anything else going on with the devices of people that were listening? And I got to write down "slay me with a sword." And you heard something. What did you hear again?
Over here?
Yeah. Didn't you tell me you heard?
Specialty thing that you heard.
Oh, I was asking about specialty because when you asked me earlier and I put this up to my ear,
Yeah.
I heard the word neurologist.
Yeah, probably not.
No.
So I'll still write it down because we might have something else going on over here. We are next to a graveyard, just so you know. Any readings coming out of ours? So that'll be Jane and Nicole. Does this say doctor? Bingo. I can't make this stuff up, guys. Did anybody grab any footage? I wasn't really paying attention to the cameras. I know
I was
you had
looking,
some.
there was nothing.
It's actually perfect timing because at the next spot I got to add an attachment to it. And no numbers? 0.3. A lot of nothing. All right, Keith, we're going to get you plugged in back to your electrical cords. So, yeah,
It's
I try
not
to keep it
moving,
brief,
but-
only because it is so long.
Real dark spot at the end of the alley.
Did something? I didn't lose my battery, right?
No, you broke it.
I did. Probably. Can't
It's
give me
going to say
anything.
S-Box.
Can't give me anything.
It's not moving.
Oh,
It didn't take shape.
just like that.
There was no form or anything to it. Usually there'll be a form.
Because she broke it. Wow. So it's disabled. Maybe somebody did it.
I do like the word doctor for sure down here. So I was actually really surprised.
Did it say disabled?
It does say disabled.
Oh, that's cool. So where it said disabled, as her thing wasn't working.
Oh.
Oh,
I was looking around like, who's
It
disabled?
just all of a sudden didn't work.
Well, he's disabled.
I am disabled.
Oh, there's a cane.
But it was.
Hey, I'm a therapist, so there. We
Well,
all have
there-
a.
But yes, they were talking that it just said disabled.
And
as-
in my right.
Yeah.
Right.
Quit working.
I keep disabled. That would make complete sense for the times the way they talked back then too. So, by the way, with this crazy voice recorder, we've caught whistles that are like quick one tone, but we caught a two tone a few months ago. It was that's a big deal.
Yeah.
But one night I made a joke and literally nobody laughed. I was like, okay, tough crowd kind of stuff. But the girl listening, she's like, I just heard somebody laughing like right in the microphone. And I was like, did you guys, anybody laugh at the joke like underneath your breath? And they're like, no, Nick, that was a bad joke. Nobody laughed. So I went back to the recording and there it was. And it was the cheesiest laugh ever. Like, it was like a ha 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 ha. And I was like, really? Like, that's wild.
He likes you.
And it wasn't on my voice recorder because I always double check. So the fact that we had it on one tells me he was right here.
Right,
Like,
right,
all right, jackass,
right.
quit making the jokes and get back to work. Yeah, on the way to our cemetery around the block, listen in on those spirit boxes. And let's see what we can get. I'll have you guys have a seat on the ledge while I get Jackie's camera all set up. I'm like impressed with myself tonight with the names because you guys are all over the map today, like moving around and shit. I won't lie, like I get a lot of like sold out. Like I considered like 8 people sold out. It's been a while since I've had 10. But again, it was a slow August. We'll just say that. So when I seen you guys come through, I'm like, woohoo, sold out. Like that's what I woke up to. All right, let's go up to the cemetery. How's your camera running, Mike? Still good? You didn't break it again?
No, I hadn't broke it yet.
I just moved Deneen up to the top of the list to be fired first, so you're pegged down in a second. Because yours was just a quick swipe. I had to reset her whole device. We're going to make a left. I love how Jane's leading the way, like she knows where she's going. It's awesome.
I'm on a mission.
You are.
You're always on a mission.
Yeah, I know.
We were around all the way. You guys can make your own assumptions of who caused the sign to be erected the way that it was. Have a seat, everybody. You've been working your asses off. Let's give you a break. Who's got what's Jack here? Bring it up the rear. Perfect. All right, did we hear anything? Did we see anything? Can we scoot down a little bit, let you guys all come on that side of the tree?
We can go down that side.
That works too.
Hold up, man. Let me take a minute.
All right, so did we hear or see anything? What do we got going on? Anything? Nothing? You're supposed to be the star of the show. What are you doing?
I see my feet.
Collision, cross country, car insurance.
Well, we could all use that. We could.
Except for the collision.
Right, I was gonna say the same thing.
That's why you need the insurance. Like, you can't combine them.
You see anything?
I brought 3 extras because I know this happens on this particular camera. So, cheesy tour question, you've probably heard it, but it gives me time to finish putting batteries and stuff on here. What's the difference between a cemetery and a graveyard? Wow, blank faces all the way down. That's crazy. I figured somebody might know the answer to that one. One belongs to the church on the same plat of land. Which one do you think it is? Graveyard, right. So most people say cemetery, so good job, man. They usually say cemetery because it's the alliteration of the letter C, first off, and that cemetery sounds way more formal. But I want you to think about how long we've been putting people into the ground, and it's pretty archaic, right? So it's an old practice. The easiest way to remember that, in case you ever get asked that again on another tour, because again, I stole that from some other poor schmuck tour guide, because it just gave me something else to ask you guys. The house always gets the yard, so the church gets the graveyard. That's the easiest way to remember it. Alright, so what I'm about to do is I'm about to add this very heavy flashlight to the right-hand side of this. So it is a spotlight. So we've had the floodlight working all night. Now you're going to have a spotlight to be able to look into the cemetery a lot further.
By the way, did you guys notice the sign at the end? Yeah. So yeah, they put that up the first night I got kicked out of here, and then I got kicked out again, and they put up the second one way over there on the other entrance. Yeah, it happens. Yeah, pretty much. It should have my damn name on it, or my logo. Like that, at least give me the publicity for it. So with the spotlight, I'll just kind of give you an idea of how it works. So I'm going to make it real small and go kind of all the way across you guys, and just keep making it bigger and then smaller, so you can see like she's going to be able to penetrate that darkness pretty good in there. So I'm going to set it up about halfway, so it covers up about half of the screen. So if you zoom in, obviously we might want to make that light smaller. So we'll talk about that, and I'll show you how to do it once we get there. So it's going to be heavy on the right-hand side now, just so you know, but we'll take that off after this location. All right, so let's talk about why we're here. This one's very quick, so I can get you guys back to work. When we get up there, all cameras, especially the one I just handed over to Jackie, are going to be on the cemetery. So get as much footage as possible. So with yours, I want you to try to keep it as still as possible. If you're going to have a ledge like what you're sitting on, literally set it on the ledge, so that way, because all the headstones are going to give you stick figures if you keep moving it. So let's just set it and leave it still and watch it like it's TV. If you get somebody on there, awesome. And I'll be honest with you, it's usually like a 10% chance that we'll get somebody on that camera. This is where we normally capture the activity. This is St. Philip's. I'm sure somebody told you that this is our tallest steeple, because it is. No building in Charleston is allowed to be taller than this steeple. That's why we're called the Holy City. By the way, this is where we used to investigate Anne Bonny, just so you know. And that's because the powder magazine behind you was being built at the same time that Anne Bonny came here. That's why we would investigate her here. It's something she would recognize. So that's why we would do that investigation in this lot. So imagine 10 of you wandering around and I get my ass in trouble. Yeah, craziness. Back to St. Philip's. We're going to be very brief and quick and short. Another fire raging through the city, 1796. So the city of Charleston did not want their beautiful steeple to capture the fire. So they blew up another church down the road. It was the French Huguenot church. The hope here was to create an oxygen pocket, so that way the fire goes in that direction and not on St. Philip's. Great idea, but it didn't work. So St. Philip's catches fire anyway. And there's a man down on the wharfs that actually sees that his master's church is on fire. We're talking about a slave here. His name was Boney. His real name was William. What was the name of the pirate I used to investigate? Anne Bonny. Sounds a lot like Boney, doesn't it? So, there's a crosshair here. I'm going to get to that. I just want to put that in the back of your brain. So Boney runs up here from the wharfs, and he scales the building hand and foot, no ladder. Gets all the way to the top of the steeple, pulling the burning shingles off of the church and saved the building. It still stands. So, the parish saw what he'd done. They all came together. They bought his freedom for him. It's about $700, in case you were wondering what that looks like in 1796. So, after he died, they basically say that his ghost always haunts this area as the Gray Man. Another cliche that I always love to talk about, right? And by the way, this is one of those places where we capture those beach ball-sized orbs, not the little tiny wisps of light. Part 2 of the story. We're going to go 100 years after Boney's death. So we have this... sorry, I didn't realize we had another group. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about over there? Yeah, not a lot of people talk about this particular story. So 100 years after Boney's death, there's a little girl that lives on the other side of the church. Her name is Sally. There's always a Sally or a Mary in one of these cliched stories. I'm just going to point that out as well. Sally's a smartass. She's about 12 years old. Her friends dared her to go into the cemetery at night to go put a cane over Boney's grave. They would retrieve it the next morning to prove that she did it. So, let's just fact check this for just a minute. Boney would never be buried in the graveyard or the cemetery based off the color of his skin. You guys see the point. Moving on. She took him up on the dare, sneaks out in the middle of the night, runs into the cemetery, goes straight to the back where she thinks Boney's grave might be, and she got scared. She ran out. She forgot to leave the damn cane. She runs back in and stakes it into the ground real quick and tries to run away again, but she can't. And she frightened herself to death.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Now, I've been telling you factual stuff all night long. Why the hell would I go with this old wives' tale here, right? Because it does sound like a don't run into the cemetery at night kind of story with the morals of it. So I'm going through the data. When I get kicked out of the Anne Bonny bit, I have to tell the story across the street because I need something quick. I still have like lots of tickets sold. I got to continue on. That story over there is cursed to females. Guys, look around. This is the normal dynamic. It's normally 70% female on my demographic. My wife says it's the beard, but you guys can hit me in the face later on. But at the same time, that story's cursed. I don't like it. So one night, I get a disembodied voice, not radio chatter, coming through a spirit box. And yeah, went over 5 radio stations. For those of you that have been listening to those spirit boxes, you know that it only goes over 2 to 3 and it's pretty broken up, especially with yours. They're really hard to make out. This one was as clear as I'm talking to you now.
little girl's voice came across and said, Sally. And I was like, oh shit, I know there's a Sally story nearby. There's always a Sally story. So I went through all my Charleston books, I found the story, and I went, this is the old wives' tale that I don't like. And then I found the part about Boney, and I started to put two and two together of how many times have I been here looking for Aunt Bonnie, and I was getting things relevant to Boney. So I went through all my old archives and I found quite a bit. So this story is a hit or a miss. So when we get up there, the cameras are the major focus, like I said, especially just to have thermal imaging footage of a cemetery in the middle of the night is just cool. Let's just put it out there. But the spirit boxes, this is not a controlled area. Ask whatever you want to. I don't care. You might get things relevant to Aunt Bonnie, our doctor friend. I don't care what you ask. But our two EMF readers, we have one sarcophagus over there that gives us readings that shouldn't. I don't know why. You can literally put your meters anywhere inside that cemetery, it's going to read 0. You go above this sarcophagus, we get all the way up to 30. I don't know why. And I've tested it a million times from Sunday. I'm just keeping track of it. I don't even know who's in that sarcophagus. You can't read it. It's rubbed off. It's just weather. It's very interesting. So we're going to get up there, and you guys are going to probably leapfrog each other a little bit. Try not to go past the dumpster. That's the cutoff point for tours. Did you break it again, Denise?
It's on one station.
It's just on one station.
You got yours.
All right, let's get you guys back to work. Just do it.
Ooh.
Boney. Something's making a noise.
It sounded like God.
Yeah, it sounded like God.
You and I looked at each other.
Which
like,
one's
what?
making the noise? Richard's?
Richard.
Let me get over here near you.
Toss you in, and you're going to walk around a little bit, and then maybe we'll get you some. This side of the dumpster. Anything weird coming out of the cam? Figure out which one.
As far as this,
On both. So if you zoom in, like if you want to look at the back, you want to pull on the end of the flashlight. Just try not to let it fly into on the front end.
oh,
It's very, very close.
really, really neat boy.
That's why I turned my head. What is that this thing? Well, a lot of times we get a lot of religious terms here because of the church. And yeah, sometimes it's just what space.
Me too.
Figure it out. So it's really stiff. So I normally like hold it like with my right here on the brace, and then I pull it with my.
Oh, cool. I was sitting there twisting it.
Yeah, twisting it. It's just gonna take the cap off.
Okay.
But I think I put it on there pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, if you get too close to the gate, some people will drop the whole flashlight in there, and it's a pain in the ass to get out. Just so you know. Of course, then Nick pulls his damn camera back in. Lizzie, you got anything?
I heard the name Douglas Jones. And pneumonia.
I should probably put the Douglas Jones that's in here, and he died of pneumonia.
And I heard a song that said I didn't even get to know my kids.
We're not going there. Hopefully we don't get the rest of that story. So, yeah, I don't like to tell it. That's the curse story.
What? So that's something?
Yeah.
You know what we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
Did any of these numbers indicate
For you?
Where are you, bud?
any
Man?
of them is next to me?
Phone.
Bonus.
He saw something that jumped way up over here, like over here. I don't see that. I had
Sally.
30 to 30 feet.
Oh, I ain't sitting at home.
I would say it's definitely not. Especially if it's footage. And then you got
I got bones were found. It's like commercials and stuff that are just popping up.
It's part of a newscast, but why did she kill? I like it because of the name of our slave. His name was Boney. Yeah.
You coming across?
Terribly.
Huh?
You seeing anything?
No. And little digging.
Digging. Bones were found. Digging.
Digging and
Something
little.
happened over here. Richard, you getting anything new?
Little it was a back.
So he asked where, Bonnie was, and it came up behind.
Well, she heard bones were found. I like that because the name's Boney. And then we have the word digging on the word list. So again, there could be a correlation to the story here. We just need to find the rest of it. Again, I don't know this whole story. That's the fun part for me. This is a new spot for me this year. That's where I get to build it, see how much the ghost is willing to give us.
Can you say locations of like other states?
Yeah, there you go. Mike, anything weird on the camera?
Nah.
Full footage though, right?
Hi.
At least full footage?
Yeah.
Okay.
That two-way radio interference.
That's what I think it's picking up radio channels.
Huh?
I think it's picking up radio channels.
Breaker one now.
Thanks, driver down here.
I heard morning.
Oh. It's vague, but we heard something.
But honestly, it sounded like a disc jockey saying it.
It's weird because we're not warning. You got any weird sounds?
Not really. Just some ticking. The EMF popped a few times.
Okay.
But
Let's take it.
yeah,
Didn't even get anything? Sure burned up.
get that burn. Something burning.
Alright, I think it's fair to wrap this one up. A lot of weird things I gotta look up. Kind of cool. Go ahead and let's regroup. You guys can wait against the wall. We'll talk about our last stop. Keep down here. And then Janine on the other side. Janine. She can't hear me.
Mikey.
Yeah, she got
What?
cranked up over there.
I keep seeing flash, the green over here flashing. Yeah. It went off.
Oh. Can we get that video stopped? That's weird. I don't know what it's doing.
No, I mean, the green is flashing. I don't know what.
Yeah,
I don't know what the radio, this thing's doing now,
I
but
don't either. It seems like a weird glitch because even look at our crosshairs, it's all over the place.